Hi everyone, and now we are going to deal with the second poem, that is the Rhodara. The Rhodara by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Ralph Waldo Emerson is the author of this poem. And before we get into the poem, let me say a few lines about this particular poem. Actually, what is Rhodara and what is the speciality of this Rhodara flower? This Rhodora flower, it expresses a spiritual connection with the primitive deified nature. And that man can share a kindred relationship with God through nature. This particular flower, it gives a message that being as a human, being as a man, we can share a very good relationship with God through the nature. There is a very good bond between God and nature. This particular flower is a beautiful flower in a purple color. Okay, this is let me show the purple color. This is the color of the flower. This Rhodora, it is a purple color and it resembles like a rose. Actually, it resembles like a rose and is as beautiful as the rose, but which remains humble and does not seek broader frame. But we all know the speciality of the rose flower. Okay, it is a rose of pride. Everyone loves the rose flower. No human beings cannot say that we are hate of this rose flowers. It's such a beautiful flowers and it is a pride of flower and it is a beautiful and everyone loves this flower. But the same this Rhodara, it resembles like rose, but it's a very humble flower. It is not as pride as the rose flower. It is a very humble and it does not seek any broader frame. Broader fame means we know the popularity of the fame of the rose flower, but this flower Rhodora is not that much fame. It's something new for everyone, but it resembles same like rose flower, but it don't attain the position and the fame and popularity like the rose flower. Okay, that is about the Rhodora flower. Okay, now let's see a few lines about the author. That is, this poem is written by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Ralph Waldo Emerson, and he was an American essayist. He's an American essayist. He's a lecturer. He's a philosopher, and he's a abolitionist and poet who led the transcendentalist movement of the mid 19th century. He was born in 25th May 1803 in a place Boston, Massachusetts, in the United States. He died in 27th April 1882 in the same place, Concord, Massachusetts, and United States. He has written many works. In that, some of the essays are mentioned here: self-reliance, the oversoul, compensation, experience, the transcendentalist, the poet. And his first name is Lydian Jackson Emerson. 1835 to 1882 is the period of this lady. And next, Ellen Louisa Tucker. Okay, he has two spouses, Ellen Louisa Tucker. Her period is 1829 to 1832. And he has education in Harvard Divinity School, Harvard College. Okay, this is about a few lines about the Ralph Waldo Emerson. Now, let's go to the poem. It is a very simple poem and a very small poem. It consists of only 16 lines. It has only 16 lines of the poem, and it is written in 1834. 1834 was the year actually this poem was written. And when he was actually visiting his extended family, at that time he wrote this poem. And here, let's start the poem here. What this poem speaks about. It is a very small poem, and we can get a very good message out of it. And actually, what this poem speaks about, we are going to just read. I will read it and explain to the first stanza here. In May, when sea winds pierced our solitudes, I found the fresh Rhodora in the woods, spreading its leafless blooms in a damp nook, to please the desert and the sluggish brook. The purple petals fallen in the pool made the black water with their beauty hay. Here might the red bird come his plumes to cool, and court the flower that cheapens his array. So here, this particular flower, here the author, as I said, this is a purple in color, and it is a beautiful like rose, but not that much fame and popularity like the rose. And what is the specialty of this particular flower, and what the author has learned from this one. So here it begins with the speaker, the author. He was just walking. He was walking through the woods. Through the woods means like a forest. He was walking through the woods, and in a windy day. Actually, this particular poem, it's a windy day. It happens in a windy day in a May month. He was walking in the woods, and the weather was not great, and the woods through which he traveled were bleak. The weather was not that much great. It was a bit bleak. The weather was not good. It was okay. That is until came upon the fresh Rhodara or rhododendron. So as he was walking in the woods, there he saw this Rhodara flower. He happened to look this Rhodara flower. It was just bloomed on the side. The brightness of the petals, this flower illuminated everything around it. Okay, it was, as I said, purple is a very good color, and the brightness of this color, it was covering the whole area. The petals were so beautiful, it was so bright, and it was just the flower was illuminated everything around it. Okay, the glare of the flower, the brightness of the color of the flower, and the petals of the flower, it was covering the whole area. It was illuminated. It makes the whole area so bright. And the brightness of the petals, this flower illuminated everything around it. The dark water was made hay, and the birds put it to shame. Here, the spread it was the petals were so bright, and it was bloomed everywhere. And at that time, there was a brook, there was a pool running beside this rhododendron flower. So what happened? The purple petals, it withered down. It fallen in the pool. That pool, it was a black water because the climate was not that much. It was a May month, so we don't feel that the water was running so nice in the pool. The color of the water was black in color. So what happened? The purple petals, it fall down. It was falling down, and it was withered down on the top layer of the top surface of the water. And the black water, it turned into beauty. It adds more beauty for the black water because the surface of the water was covered with the purple petals of the rhododendron flower, and it turned the black water by giving a beautiful sight. It gave a very beautiful sight. The black water, the top layer, it was covered with the petals of the rhododendron flower. And here, the brightness of the petal was fall on the top. The dark water was made hay, and the dark water was turned into brightness. It was so beautiful to see. Here might the red bird come his plumes to cool. So next year, what happened? Following to the petal that was fallen on the surface of the water, the red bird, it comes over there. He to cool his plumes and coat the flower that cheapens his array. And here the birds put to shame for the lack of brilliance. Okay, here what happened? Now the bird was also coming near to it, and it added more beauty. So now when we look at the site of the pool, beginning previous, the black water was just flowing down. It never gave any beautiful sight over there. But after the petals of this rhododendron flower, it just falls down the top surface of the water. The black water, it turns into so bright in color, and it adds more beauty and gives a lovable sight. So adding to some more beauty, the red bird also come over there to cool itself near the pool, and it adds more beauty along with these petals of the flower, and the whole surrounding was so lovable to watch over there. Okay, this is about the first stanza. Next comes here. Okay, next here, the second half. Let me read it to you. Rhododendron, the sages ask thee why. This charm is wasted on earth and sky. Tell them, dear, that if eyes were made for seeing, then beauty is its own excuse for being. Why thou wert where, O rival of the rose? I never thought to ask, I never knew, but in my simple ignorance suppose. The self same power that brought me there brought you. Rhododendron, the sages ask thee why. This charm is wasted on the earth and sky. Tell them, dear, that if eyes were made for seeing, then beauty is its own excuse for being. Why thou wert there, O rival of the rose? I never thought to ask, I never knew. But in my simple ignorance, suppose the self-same power that brought me there brought you. Okay, this is about the second instance. The second form, the speaker describes the power of simple beauty. In this stanza, we can see how much the power of beauty is explained over here. Always, beauty has more power. In what way it is explained there? And as well as how the flower exists for no other reason than that's the beautiful. It was just growing over there. Okay, the flower exists for no other reason. There is no reason why the flower is bloom in the particular place. There is no reason at all. The beautiful flower, no one is there around. It was no one was around the surrounding. Nothing was left over. It was all, the place was empty. And why? For no reason, this particular was blooming so brightly in that near the empty space. And one, his eyes gaze upon such things, but they do not grow for humankind. It shows that one has eyes to gaze upon such things, okay, but they do not grow for humankind. Actually, this was growing apart from the place. It was actually woods. Woods means forest. Not often people visit inside the forest and never have a sight of this beautiful flower. So here the author has a question. It rises on his mind that why this particular flower, it is growing over there for not for the human beings. Okay, human beings never visit often. They never have a sight of this beautiful flower, and they, but it was growing over there, and it had, one has eyes to gaze upon such things, and but they do not grow for, actually don't have grow for any mankind. Okay, that is about this flower. And here uh, and here there is a type and shows that it was just growing over there. It was just growing, and it is the author had in his mind that, let me, if you ask this question to the sage means the Munivar, if you ask question to this why this charm is based on the earth and sky, the beauty of this Rhodara, why it is wasting in the wood, no one is to watch this flower. Why this beauty should be raised in the earth and sky? No one is there to watch in the top of the sky, and no one is there to watch on the earth. It was inside, interior to the forest, and it was growing in the woods. And why such a beautiful flower, with having beautiful petals, why it should be wasted? Tell them, dear, that if eyes were made for seeing, then beauty is own its being. Why thou wert there, O rival of the rose? Again, here says that the rose is so beautiful, and this rose is admired by everyone. So compared to the rose, it's as much beautiful as the rose. But why this Rhodara? I don't have any particular place, or it's not identified the human beings in the open world, but it is grown in a deeper inside the wood. No one is there to watch the flower. No one is there to watch the beauty of the flower. And this question arises in the minds of the author, why it comes here. I never thought to ask, I never knew, but in my simple ignorance, suppose the self-same power that brought me there brought you. And the author says that, though many of the people don't have the opportunity to come and meet the flowers, I myself, when I was walking all alone, and I happened to meet this flower, I was happened to admired the beauty of the flower. And there he thought that I have accidentally come over there and I just met the flower and I've admired the beauty of the flower. Why this beautiful should be wasted in the wood? The question arises in his mind, and at the same time, the author got the answer that actually this particular Rhodara flower, it was not created, it was not bloomed for the happiness of the mankind, because it was interior in the wood. Okay, now the theme of the poem here says that beauty is the primary theme in this poem. So when we look at this poem, beauty is the main primary. Always flower, it mentions, it denotes the beauty. Rhodara with the beautiful purple petals. It mentions how beautiful the flower was. It is the main primary thing in this poem. It's not only the beauty of the fresh Rhodara flower that the poet observes, he also goes on to extent of thinking how this flower can change its setting. That takes into account the black water, damp, hoop, and sluggish. Here the author says that one thing he has observed, though it was grown in the woods, though no people came over there, no one is there to admire the beauty of the flower, but still the Rhodara flower never minds that human beings comes and meet me and admire the beauty. It never minds. Instead, the petals of the Rhodara flower, it just falls on the black, cool water and turns and gives a beautiful sight of this particular flower. It was a black in color. The water was black in color, and no one is there to observe. And this particular the particular flower, it was grown over there. No people were there to admire, but still it never mind about it. And here the author saw that the petals were filled on the top layer of the water, and it turned the black water into a beautiful one. And it really added more beauty to the water. And next comes the bird over there, and even that the bird too enjoys the particular water. So here the Rhodara flower, though it was not recognized by any human beings like the rose, though it don't attain the fame and popularity with the rose flower, it never mind about it. In one or the some other way, it added more beauty to the black water of the pool and turns and it covers the whole top layer of the water with the purple petals, and it added more beauty to the water. And even the birds comes over there, and it was having chillness along with the flower next to the pool. So here the Rhodaro flower dedicated itself, never mind about the human, and here it dedicated itself and it added more beauty, though it was not recognized by the earth and the sky. It was going over there and it added more beauty, and that is about the dedication of the Rhodaro flower. Here the author explained in a beautiful way that how the Rhodaro flower, it added beauty to the black water by covering the top layer of the water, the purple flowers, and growing and having a beautiful look, grown in a deep of the forest, never recognized by anyone. The author had a chance of getting inside, and he had a chance of admiring the beautiful Rhodora, and there he writes the extra beauty of this flower, how it fills the whole area. That's about the poem Rhodora. Hope you have understood.